Hey, this is Nick with mountains2metal.com. I am going to show you guys how to install the Midland 275 GMRS radio with mount available on our website, mountains2metal.com. This was designed around the kicker key amp, and basically what comes in the box is this bracket right here and a little bag of hardware so you can attach the kicker key amp or the Midland radio here. I bought this kit, comes with quite a few things. I'm going to be installing this setup, and we'll be using the extension cable for the mic, and that'll allow us to mount the mic to our center console MOLLE, or if you want to put it somewhere on your dash, or we have another product called the Squatch Basket that you'll be able to mount this to as well. So a few different options, but we decided to design this bracket to clean up the install a little bit. I've seen a lot of people install them in their glove boxes or their center console, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I wanted to keep that space open to use for other things. So anyways, I'm gonna move on to the next part. I'm gonna go ahead and mount the power source and speaker to the bracket, and I will go from there and show you guys how to do this. Pretty easy. All right, I'm back. I installed this little bracket here using a number 0 Phillips and a 1/4-inch socket to put this little bracket on with the hardware we provide. So basically, I use the center slot. As you can see, there's a ton of options on here to install whatever little device you have that you want to mount out of the way. And to do this, what I would recommend is I mounted this in the middle, and so this actually slides on like this, slides right on into the place. And one of the things you're going to want to do is take the extension cable, and when you put this under or on top of the glove box, you'll basically click this into place and fold this back and just kind of hold that in place when you snake it up there. You'll have a lot of room, but this won't be accessible once you bolt this into place. If you ever have to get it down to use the second USB power source, you can do that. It won't be really accessible for quick access, so you're going to want to use this. And when you see at the end of the video where I mount this, you'll be able to plug and unplug your mic pretty easy. So also the outside holes, there's 4 of them. That's for the kicker amp if you decide to go that route. And you can mount this flat, but one thing we had to do was mount it like this, because on the end of the when you plug in the back of the antenna, you'll see there's a very large metal piece that pokes out the back. So that is the reason why we had to design it with a kick. So when this plugs in, you can see at the angle that this will be out of the way of the glove box when it shuts. So you might have to use some zip ties and tape this up out of the way, but you should be able to free up any obstruction, especially with your power wire, and I'll show you how to do that as well. So the next step would be to remove the glove box, which is super easy if you haven't done that before. Show you how to take the glove box out. If you look on the inside down here, you'll see this little track. It's kind of held in. Just kind of pull that up just a little bit, and this will kind of swing out of the way. And then there's a tab on each side, and you just push that in, drop it down. You should be able to pick right up on it, and your whole glove box will pull out of the way, and our bracket slides up in here. What we would do is take our bolts supplied by us, and this side right here, I'm going to use that as the ground. And if you want, you could go ahead and install this one on the other side. The extension cable is here, and just want to tuck that over here. And if you drop it through, so this one, I literally just push this through here, and it drops down, and eventually I'm going to mount this extension right here. We'll worry about that later. And here I'm going to probably bolt in this one side so it'll stay up there, but it's pretty easy to push in there. And then I'm going to run the power source to one of the wires that are down here that go into the firewall, and then we'll hook that up to our auxiliary 6 switch. So I will move on to the next part. Now I'm going to install the antenna wire. So it comes like this. You're going to want to take this off, a little spacer and this, and set those off to the side. You'll need those at the very end. What you're going to do is a little spot up in here, up against the firewall. Turn this vertically and push it up there, and you're going to want to start pushing it across the other side. There we go. Now before you pull it through the other side, what I would recommend is taking this bundle of wire and stretching it out, because you are going to have to pull it across the front of the firewall, depending on which side you want. If you want to mount it on the driver's side or passenger side, I chose passenger side so I wouldn't have to look at it while I was driving. The antenna that comes with it is not very big, so it's not going to be obtrusive. I'm going to show you where to run the antenna through the firewall, and I'll go from there. All right, I got this on the driver's side. So what you're going to want to do is take this little guy, and you're going to want to go above the steering column, and eventually we'll zip tie this to whatever you can after we get done, to make sure it doesn't get in the way of your gas pedal or brake pedal or anything like that. All right, I'm on the driver's side where all the wires come through for your auxiliary switches down here. We got to pull the antenna through here. So there's a little rubber grommet or plug right here. It's got 2 tabs on it, and pull this off. There you go. And you'll see plenty of daylight down there. And what we're going to do is take this, and we're going to slit an X mark in that so we can push that antenna wire through that, and then we're going to run it along the firewall and then to an antenna mount on the other side. So we got all this pushed through, and kind of see the X here. The easiest way to push this back in is to push it all the way through the firewall, and then you're going to push it back through, and it'll lock it into place. But as you can see, I just ran the wire through the top. I will zip tie this when we're done to clean up this. The tip here will go up under here. We have a mount we're going to put right here. There's a little gap. If you once we loosen these up, there's a gap under here. The wire will come through. The antenna will sit right about in here. All right, here's our power wire. This is if you want to do like a temporary install, but we are not going to use this, so I would snip off a few extra inches in case you want to use this for something else. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wire up this for my ground, which will be the other mounting hole for the bracket. One of these to the red wire, and I'm going to run that to one of the pre-wires in the Bronco. So then we'll figure out which auxiliary switch is number 6, and that's what we're going to use. Anyways, I'm going to do that, and I'll meet you back in the Bronco. If you want to find out what wire is what for the auxiliaries, if you just literally go to your features and go to the owner's manual and type in AUX, it'll identifying the auxiliary switch wiring. So basically aux 6 is yellow and orange, so I'm going to hook up our power wire to the radio to the white wire down below. So if you haven't done this before, these right here are with some electrical tape are taped up in here, and then this wire here is also taped. This goes to above the window. We'll be installing a KC light bar as well. You'll just have to cut those free. So I'm going to look for this white wire right here, and I'm going to snip the end, and I'm going to put a female connector on that end so I can hook the other end of my power to the radio to that. We're almost done here. All right, so I got the wiring done. This is the ground wire right here. So what I did is put a zip tie up here to pull this ground wire out of the way. So I've got this coming through the back right here. So what I did is I got our mountains to metal center console passenger MOLLE right here, and I have this. What I did is turned it sideways, tucked it down in here, pulled this out, and if you wanted to, you could zip tie this in place, but what I've found is it stays there. So if you wanted to easily unhook your mic, throw it in the glove box or whatever, it's easy to hook it back up. And I'm gonna feed the rest of this wire underneath here, and you won't be able to see any of this when I get done. All right, we got our wire ran over here, and I'm gonna use our mountains to metal antenna mount, which is gonna go right here. So first I gotta get the antenna cable through this hole. So using a T25, took this this bolt off, and a T27, take that one off, and then this will pop off. And we're going to want to try to get underneath here. I need to take this antenna off. Under here there is a little groove, and well, you can see my finger down here. That's where you want the wire to come through at. So I may have to set the camera down here, but basically gonna fish it up through here. All right, I got our cable pushed through, and I assembled this on the antenna mount. You got your little metal piece here and a little plastic insert that goes through the hole on our antenna mount, and then the actual piece that the antenna screws onto, and that will go right about into here. You just got to watch where the cable goes so you don't hit the windshield wiper. So I'm probably going to turn that kind of off to a 45 or a 90. Put this plastic piece on and button this up. And one thing to watch out for when you do get done is pop this windshield piece back into place. Kind of push on it there. I've seen some people have issues with that, not lining up with the tabs here. All right, I got everything fully assembled. I ended up turning this to almost a 90. Got my cable coming out here, and all I gotta do now is screw this little guy back on, and there we go. And to show you what this looks like with the mountains to metal A-pillar light brackets, I have my Bronco over here, and I installed mine on the same side. So I've got 3 wires coming out of the same hole. A little trickier to get back into place, but everything looks nice and clean. Lines up to the antenna there. All right, just got the mic hooked up. There's our door pockets. Check those out with or without the bungee net. But this is our center console MOLLE, no drilling. But this all hooks into place. But earlier I showed you I ran the extension cable for the mic right here. So you just plug this thing in, and this will hook into place here, or you can use the Midland little receiver that this comes with, so this can hook into. Or if you want, you can hook it up to our new mountains to metal Squatch Basket. So this will hook into place if you're on the trail, or hook it off the side, other side, whatever you want. That comes in pretty handy. Check that out on the website as well. Want to clean this up at all, you literally could just unhook the mic right here and throw it in the glove box, and you'd never know this was even had a radio in here. So anyways, check us out, mountainsToMetal.com, and hopefully this helped you install your radio. And check out our underdash mount. Everything's in here, closes nice and easy. So all right, thanks again. This is Nick, Mountains to Metal.